Up next, out and about at the Ag Reserve. An artist with an up-county view.
I come out of the studio, I don't have to walk far to find inspiration.
A sanctuary for farm animals.
This donkey is 44 years old.
And a field trip for 4th graders to learn about the importance of agriculture. Stay tuned.
Montgomery Heartland, where county meets country.
The Montgomery County Agricultural Reserve is a designated land use zone designed to protect farms, open spaces, and parkland. It encompasses 93,000 acres in the northwestern part of Montgomery County, Maryland. Established in 1980 by the Montgomery County Council and the Planning Board, it has become a national model for communities to preserve agricultural land. Several measures were created to accomplish these goals, including reducing the rate of new residential development from 1 house per 5 acres to 1 house per 25 acres. The county also implemented a transferable development right, or TDR, allowing landowners to recover the equity in their land without having to sell it.
But this really is a model. It really is a model for showing that we can have development in urban areas, but also protect our environment and ensure that we have rural areas like this, our agricultural reserve, that are promoting environmental sustainability, but also promoting natural food production, making sure that we can continue to value our environment. So I really think and hope that other communities will continue to look at the methodology that we've employed with promoting and retaining and protecting and supporting and lifting up our agricultural reserve. It really is something that is a true gem for our community.
The Ag Reserve protects almost a third of the county's agricultural resources, and many of the county's 540 farms are located within it. The agricultural community contributes more than $287 million to the county's economy through food production, nurseries, equestrian farms, wineries and breweries, recreational opportunities, cultural resources, and more.
Having fresh, locally grown products here where people can buy food is a real amenity associated with the Ag Reserve. And then the open space part of the Ag Reserve. As long as farming is viable, as long as farming is profitable, it creates open space preservation opportunities for people to experience the farm, to get out of a congested area, and just to enjoy the rural part of the county. And then it also is a benefit in terms of environmental. We have a county-wide stream survey that has shown that all the streams up county are in better quality, water quality-wise, than the streams down county.
In addition to the environmental benefits, the Ag Reserve gives us another gift: natural beauty. And those living there don't take it for granted. Just ask artist Tina Thieme Brown. She lives and works in Barnesville.
I work from nature. Montgomery County's Agricultural Reserve, one of the key features that I love are the rustic roads. They're sometimes unpaved, there's usually trees on either side. I go out in the field over to Sugarloaf or over to Black Hills or Audubon Natural Society or different places around here in Montgomery County. So I'll collect leaves and nuts and acorns and I'll bring them back and work in my sketchbook.
Tina's tools include colored pencils, pen and ink, watercolors, pastels, and oils, among others. She has illustrated 2 books about the region. My
degrees, a BFA and MFA and an MLA from Washington University in St. Louis. That's where I grew up. We moved here in '91. So when I moved up here, I joined a project on Sugarloaf. I was living down county and I would drive up here every day for work and go draw the plants on the mountain and meet the writer. And so we worked for 10 years, Melanie Chickas-Bradley and I. And we did these 2 books and they have been really well received. It's almost done with its 2nd printing. We've sold almost all of that. And this book is really a collaboration. What we've really loved to see happen with this book is people take it out in their backyard. They take it to Brookside. They'll take it to Sligo Creek. and they'll see a plant that they see on their walk that they want to identify. I've got some ironweed that's still in bloom here. I love this purple, and as you can see, the monarchs have been over here. I found monarchs on the ironweed. I thought it was just milkweed, which I planted, but they love the ironweed as well. I've got blue lobelia at the last stage of its flowering cycle, and here is cardinal flower. I'm a member of the Countryside Artisan Studio Tour group. It's a group of artisans. We work in a variety of mediums. Countryside Artisans has studio tours 3 times a year, so it really focuses you on finishing projects and setting up the studio for customers. I also show in gallery shows, so I sell my work both in my studio and in gallery shows.
Tina also teaches classes at Brookside Gardens, the National Arboretum, and the Audubon Naturalist Society.
I like my art to serve as a way to connect people with the beautiful natural resources we have around here, especially in the Ag Reserve. But also, I like taking them in our parks. We have great parks in Montgomery County. I want my work to be a connective space for people between, sitting down to make art, but also maybe growing an appreciation for where they're drawing or how special it is, or a sense of they might care more about that environment when they've spent time sitting down and looking at it closely and sketching it.
For the 25th anniversary of the Ag Reserve, Tina created a map, which is in the process of being updated.
This was created in Photoshop. There's 290 layers. Each one is a different drawing. So there's Mr. Peepers, who used to live across the street. This horse is on West Harris. The patchwork fields, I was trying to capture a sense of how the landscape and the pastoral landscape is separated into these patchwork fields that are so beautiful. So that is the attempt to describe, and at the same time we wanted to give a little history. I like to become involved in public art projects that might help Down County residents understand about the Ag Reserve and so that they can enjoy it as well. I've really come to love this landscape, but also appreciate there's a lot of pressure to develop the Ag Reserve. So while I draw it and love it and walk it and bike it and hike it, I also feel a responsibility, a sense of a civic responsibility to speak up on behalf of it.
For more information on the artist and the countryside artisans, go to these websites. Ann Schroeder, another resident of the Ag Reserve, sees its impact from a different lens, through her animals and the volunteers who take care of them. Her farm, the Stargazing Farm, is a sanctuary for abused and neglected farm animals. It's located in Boyd's.
We're an animal sanctuary, a nonprofit. We take in animals that have been abused or neglected, turned into animal control, or found as strays, and we give them a permanent home. And we work with children and youth to teach them humane education. I moved here in 2002. Because I was renting and I had 2 ducks and my landlord was throwing me out and I needed a farm for my ducks. So that's how the farm started. Then I very quickly adopted 2 sheep, and then Mr. Newman Goat, who was a stray, showed up. He's the oldest living animal on the farm. He's been here 16 and a half years. We reckon he's about 17 and a half years old, which is very old for a goat. And then that was a month after I moved in. And then slowly I started getting a few other rescue animals. So Marguerite and Senna, who's over to the right, those are our 2 alpacas. And they were kept in a basement of a barn permanently. I'm a professional shearer, and I went to shear at this farm. There was no sunlight. It was concrete floor with rebar sticking up. It was in 2004 that I decided to make it a nonprofit. So we've been a nonprofit now for 14 years.
Funding comes through a variety of ways.
Primarily through donations, private donations. We have received a few grants. We are participating in the Combined Federal Campaign and the Maryland Charity Campaign, and people can write us in the United Way. We have a small gift shop, and we make a few sales of wool crafts and other items that our volunteers make for us. All the fiber that makes the rugs comes from either our own animals or from animals that I've sheared that people have donated to the farm.
And then there are the volunteers, who number about 70.
We're like cleaning stalls, mucking poop, scrubbing water troughs, We also make sure that every time that they come, we have some kind of animal care job that they can do so that they get some hands-on work, whether it's weighing an animal or cleaning an animal's eyes or ears, deworming, giving shots, learning how to handle the large animals. I think that that really helps establish a bond with the animals.
I came here when I was 11 for the SSL hours, my bar mitzvah project, and my Girl Scout Silver Award, and I've just stayed here because of how much I love it. I love the community, I love the animals, I love being able to do something that helps society in a way. I'm very good with animals, much more so than people, so this is kind of my comfortable place.
I do everything and anything. I've done digging fence post holes, medical work, just general cleaning. I've been here since I was very little.
My daughter originally found about this place through her high school for SSL hours for volunteering, and she and I came out together. She's busy today, but I've just enjoyed the experience out here so much I keep coming out. The goats have so much personality, they're always getting into things. My very first time out here, I left the chicken coop door open for just a moment, and 2 of the goats went rushing in, caused all kinds of havoc, and I've just gotten to adore them so much.
A lot of times people sponsor our animals, and that's one of the ways that we raise funds. So a person might particularly like our guinea pig or our 2,600-pound steer, and they'll pay a certain amount of money every year, and they can come and visit that animal.
To find out about sponsorships, volunteering, visiting hours, special events, and more, go to stargazingfarm.org. One way to keep the Ag Reserve intact is through education. A program called Close Encounters with Agriculture, now in its 25th year, is available to Montgomery County 4th graders. Held at the Agricultural History Farm Park in Durwood, Close Encounters invites the children to spend the day learning about farming, nutrition, and the environment.
This program is phenomenal. We're bringing children in and we're helping share what the whole world of agriculture is about and how it fits with food and nutrition, the environment, and traditional agriculture.
We've reached over 85,000 kids since 1993, and so that's an incredible outreach. We think we get between 30 and 35 public schools a year and between 8 and 12 private schools a year that come to the program over 3 weeks.
She is not a horse, she is a pony. Ponies are not determined by age, but by height. And the measurement we use with horses is called hands.
And for many of these kids, they really don't have a concept. We're reinforcing the My Plate model.
What portion of the plate is red and green? What fraction? 2/4 or 1/2?
Brussels sprouts. How many people like Brussels sprouts?
I enjoyed learning about the types of vegetables that I didn't know about.
And I like seeing the goats and what they ate.
We are helping them understand the importance of, cover crops, farming in general, where their food comes from, the parts of the plant they eat.
So how much corn do you think is going to be in here?
50. None.
Not a drop. You got it. Exactly. Excellent.
I learned that corn can be in Coke, and I also learned that there's not any corn in Diet Coke, and that corn can make glue.
Over an environment, the main point we want to make is farmers are positive for the environment. They're not negative. We're much better off where we have farms. For example, in our up-county agricultural areas, water quality is always better.
They've learned about the bugs and insects and fish that are in the streams. They've learned about soil. And here we're teaching them about the importance of having a plant buffer along streams to keep away runoff and pollution. And what we have here is samples of four different types of surfaces that can run directly into streams. The first is roads, the second is an open construction site, then grass, then plants. And this is our mixed plant stream buffer, which has very much less water in it because the plants absorb it, and it's much cleaner.
And the survey said 94% of you said whole wheat bread, 5% of you thought white rice.
So these children are going to be better advocates for keeping agriculture in Montgomery County. It's been extremely successful.
Close Encounters is held each October. To find out more, go to this website.
Well, that's it for this episode of Montgomery Heartland. Thanks for watching.